on the pulse of what's happening, and that the president and the Pentagon and
This is AM 730 KQP, West Memphis, Marion, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, man? Everything lovely.
Get ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. For the next hour, we will forget about the black man, we will forget about the white man, and we will deal with the human. Pastor Andre Guy is here to answer your questions from a biblical perspective. He's an humble man who's on a mission to bring the church together with a Bible and a dictionary. He will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help him God. And now, here's Pastor Andre Guy.
Well, good evening, members and the rest of the world. Welcome to another edition of The Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. You gotta stop the commercial. Commercial playing. Okay, hold on, I got you. All right, I'm Andre Guy Reed. Hey, it's Juan Brayton. For the next hour, let's forget about the black man. Let's forget about the white man. Let's deal with the human from a Bible perspective, if you will. Feel free to call in at 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490 for any comments, suggestions, agreements, or even disagreements we may have. We can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Okay, this is the True Radio Show. Hold on. Mm-hmm. If you have paper in your headphones. Well, look at that. At least it's on my head. Amen. This is the True Radio Show brought to you by the True Radio Network. We discuss everything from sex, race, religion, politics, and even sometimes sports from a Bible perspective. Amen. A lot of things that go out there. They got some congressional Judiciary Committee hearings going on in Washington. And your good Congressman Steve Cohen, representative of District 9 here in Memphis, he brought in a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken to eat during the hearings. Huh? He brought in a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and sat there during the hearings, eating his Kentucky Fried Chicken, asking the other congressmen, do y'all want a piece? He represents the voters of District 9 in Memphis. So sad. Also in the news yesterday, the Baptist Ministerial Association, they meet over there at the Archimore Center, been doing about 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. They came on the news yesterday and did a news conference and said they have decided that they're going to do something about crime in Memphis. What they going to do? I don't want to know what you going to do. Y'all didn't go in the community. Most people don't even know about the Baptist Ministerial Association until they do news bites. They walk around with a sign and say, I'm a man, or they do a news bite about this or a news bite about that. Then they go over there and pat each other on the back and take up collections for each other to trade money and tell each other how good they preach, but you don't hear nothing about they doing that in the community, man. I want to know, I wish somebody would ask, but what exactly is it that y'all decided you're going to do about crime? Okay. The preaching of the gospel. You're supposed to do that. The Bible said go into the highways and byways so you can compel them to come to the house. But I just really want to know, what are they going to do? Or is this just another burst out of emotionalism? Like when you put the telegrams on the telegram poles and you do the little peace riders and give away your hamburgers and your hot dogs and, enough is enough and we're not going to take this anymore and, the same old. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is that America's under spiritual siege. And if people have not decided that they want to spiritually change their life and surrender to Jesus Christ, which is my faith. Mm-hmm. Some people prescribe to Islam, some people prescribe to Buddhism, but my faith is Christianity. Until they make that decision, you got to be honest with you. It's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. The Bible tells us so. The Bible also tells us that there will be charlatans leading the church. False prophets. Is that better? Yeah, I can see you now. Okay. A lot of false prophets. Mm-hmm. And because people are not reading their Bible, holding these pastors accountable, the church seems like a fraud. But I'm here to tell you today, saints, the gospel still works for those that work it.
That's true.
But when you allow your politics or your social ideology or your just basic selfishness to override the word of God, then you cannot get the promises of God, the protection of God, the guidance of God, because you have not made him God in your life. So if you believe that the Baptist Ministry Association can go out there and do something about crime, got some land on sale you right over there at College of McLemore.
Okay. What's the what's that? What's the Baptist what's
the Baptist Ministry Association?
Yeah, what is that?
There's 150 to 200 of the supposed most prominent Baptist preachers in the city of Memphis that they meet on every Tuesday at the Archie Moore Center, and they do a banquet, and different ones they preach each week and take up a collection for him, and then they find out what this Baptist preacher doing in his ministry, and this Baptist preacher needs help in his ministry, and they basically go there to trade money and sermons. And for the whole time they've been there, I've seen nothing that they do of substance in the community. Now they'll come out on some anniversary with Martin Luther King and come out with some "I'm a man" sign, and they do a lot of photo ops and stuff, but nothing. That's probably why you don't know who they are.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what was the Baptist anyway.
You can't, because it ain't of God.
Okay, so
no denominations of God.
So it's not based on God, so it ain't gonna grow.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll just make.
But it does fit the motion.
What you mean?
I mean, they play into that emotionalism. I'm Baptist born, Baptist bred, I was raised in the Baptist church, and they can't even tell you what it is. But when you start showing them that God says in Isaiah, Matthew, and Mark that if you worship me based on rules made by man, you worship in vain, they don't hear that. They can't hear that. They know that the pastor's taking the money. They know that the pastor's sleeping around in the congregation. They know that the pastor doesn't have the members at heart. That don't matter. That's why I came off the morning bench at. That's why I got baptized at. That's why I received my calling of once saved, always saved, so I can live any kind of way I want to.
Okay.
Also on the day, Q.
Okay.
This thing that they're pushing with this LGBTQ movement, and that's what they're not gay, that's homosexual rights they're fighting for. Gay means happy.
Gay means happy.
Yeah, just call it what it is.
Take it back.
Go ahead.
I said we just taking it back. It's gay mean happy. Rainbow is God thing, not no homosexual thing. So.
Right, exactly. And just tell the truth, they're fighting for homosexual rights. That's what that is. Well, to show you how this thing is spreading, and not just in America, I pray the thing from Kenya where the president of Kenya told Barack Obama, we don't want that over in Kenya. Keep that in America. 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. Call that number. We got that. We don't want that here. Keep that in America. In Norway, they got a thing now where a child at the age of 5 or 6 years old can sign a form and say that they have changed their gender. Did you catch that, Q? Hold up, Q. Shane, they're doing some work with the engineering. Did you hear that? Or did they trying to get the hum out? They doing this engineering stuff, y'all. I'm waiting because I know he didn't hear what I'm finna play. Did you hear that, Q?
We'll say now. I'm ready.
I'm finna play a clip in Norway. They got a thing now where a child, when they 5 or 6 years old, they can sign a form and then they can go ahead and have their gender change.
What?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
That's what this LGBTQ movement did. You think about it, y'all. They got the right to marry.
Yeah, that's true.
So what they fighting for now? All this gay pride month and gay no, these homosexual months and homosexual parades and getting you not to call it homosexuality but to call it gay. To create a minority group simply by you doing something, performing a sexual act, and now you become part of this minority group. That ain't nothing but the devil. It ain't nothing but the devil. It ain't nothing but. Well, let's go to Norway, Q, and see what they do.
Let's go.
Okay, you got some kind of hum just came back in. That's outside then, okay.
That's outside.
Let's go to Norway. What up, world? Just wanted to
say, we love you.
In Norway, children as young as 6 can now legally change their gender, thanks to legislation passed in June of this year. Argentina and Malta are the only other countries that allow minors to transition. But unlike those two countries, which require children to go to court, Norwegian kids can self-identify as male or female by simply filling out a form. Hind Hassan traveled to Norway to meet one family beginning the process. They said that you have to hide away every dress, you have to hide away every toy that is girlish. Anna stopped eating, she stopped drinking, she stopped going out to play. They actually broke her whole self-esteem. It's like it was breaking in 1,000 pieces. And she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was just Anna, she was just a girl who wanted to be a child. Anna was born Adrian, but she says she's always known she was a girl. Today's a really important day for her. Can you tell me what this letter is? This is a family confirmation for me to switch gender. I think it's great because I got through so much and then just say, yeah, now it's done. So I am a girl in my passport also. Anna lives in Haugesund in western Norway with her mum, stepfather and 3 brothers. When you were born, your parents named you Adrian. When did you know that you were Anna, not Adrian? I actually notice it all the time because I wasn't Adrian. I dressed up like a girl and play with dolls and do all the things. And actually was a girl from the beginning. And people were saying that, why are you dressed up like a girl? And are you a girl or are you a boy? I was very nervous, but I thought this could change my life. Have you ever been bullied? I didn't want to go to school sometimes because I didn't want to go with boy clothing. But now no one is saying to me, why are you a girl? Anna has 2 passports. One is Adrian and one is Anna. But under gender, she's still listed as male. That's about to change. Her mum, Siri, has always been supportive, even when those around her, including the authorities, haven't been. Some of my family and some of my friends were very skeptic, and they told me that they thought it was wrong of me to let Anna be a girl. And actually, some friends of my friends were calling the social services. I thought they were going to take my child away. But they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't been in our shoes. I tried to force her to be a boy, and it has never gone easily. I knew as a mother that I was doing something wrong, even if the social services said it was right. So when I let her be the girl that she feels she is, she's so happy. Up until this summer, Norway was one of 19 European countries that required transgender people to undergo surgery and sterilization before they could legally change their gender. Now, its legislation is seen as some of the most advanced because it's made the process so simple. Deep breath. You excited? Okay, Anna, you have to write your name here, your signature, right here. You did it. You signed it. Yeah. Can I draw a heart? Yeah, right. Don't do anything. You have done your job if you want to get through with this. As a mother, it's kind of a sorrow when Adrian left us in a way. It was like Adrian was slowly dying, but there was no Adrian there. There was Anna all the time. So it's important for me too to show her that I'm proud of her, even if she's a girl or even if she's a boy. It doesn't matter to me what she is. The next step for Anna will be hormone therapy. She doesn't want to go through puberty as a boy, but she'll still have to wait until 18 if she wants to have surgery. These transgender children put away some of their childhood to try to tell all the people around them who they actually are. And they also deserve to just be children without thinking about their gender all the time.
Now this is being shown. They running this here along with a free 1 month special to HBO now. So HBO and Vice is making sure they show this. You know that this is to impress the children of our country. You do know that, don't you?
Yes, I do. But what? You telling me that God made it wrong? That he got it wrong? So I'm gonna step in to make it right.
And then this 6-year-old boy, because he signed this paper saying he's with a 6-year-old girl, now when he goes to school or to restaurant or public places, to church, then he goes into the same bathroom with my 6-year-old granddaughter. Are y'all getting it? Are y'all getting it? Do you want to get it?
Wow.
And it's on 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. But that's what this liberal democratic ideology across this nation is doing, man.
That's true, but you know, I watched. Well, you sent me a clip, a documentary, when some of these guys that did have the sex change and all that stuff, half of them commit suicide because they lost their mind, and the other ones they regret it. They said they should never did it. But you know, how you put it our way, don't make a permanent decision.
You never make a permanent decision in a temporary condition.
And that's what they are in, a temporary condition.
See, certain things we did in life, they were fads and they were genres. But these movements that are out here now, man, these things hold lifelong consequences that when you get in your 40s and 50s, it ain't like when we did it where we can be wild and loose in our 20s, but in our 30s straighten up. Oh, no, sir. These are some spirits that they playing with that have lifelong consequences that cover generations to come.
Yes, they do.
And may stop many more generations from coming. Got another one.
You said something right there. You just said something.
I slid in real deep. We setting up the end of civilization.
Because 2 males can't produce a baby. 2 females can't produce a baby.
Well, you know, they can do artificial insemination. You know, they can do cloning. You know, they feel like they're just like in the Tower of Babel. They feel like man is smart enough that they don't need God to create life.
I understand that, but you keep on playing with God. God got a rap. He got a mean rap too now.
I promise you. There's a consequence to pay.
Come on.
There is a consequence to pay. Let's see, can I find this Democrat, Mr. John Rogers from Alabama. He's an interesting guy, Q.
Okay.
Brother Joseph sent me him this morning. Let's see how you play this. Let's see. Maybe I gotta play it from right here because I know it plays. I heard him talking and it blew my mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, you play Miss Sheena right quick.
I got you.
Hold on. I got him.
He's going quick on the draw now.
Okay, he is. I got him. Here comes Mr. John Rogers.
All I'm saying to you, y'all be a woman's choice. I'm not about to be as a male tell a woman what to do with her body. She has the right to make that decision herself. The rape and incest. Some kids are unwanted. So you kill them now, kill them later. You bring them in the world unwanted, unloved. These are the relationship. So you kill them now, kill them later. But the bottom line is that I think we should be making this decision.
Did you hear that guy?
What?
That guy said, you can come out, but let me play that one more time. I gotta make sure y'all heard that. Other guy, I hope you listening to this, but I know he don't care. See, like Mr. Rogers.
All I'm saying to you, y'all be a woman's choice. I'm not about to be as a male tell a woman what to do with her body. She has the right to make that decision herself. The rape and incest. Some kids are unwanted. So So you kill them now, kill them later. You bring them in the world, unwanted, unloved. This is the naked shit. So you kill them now, kill them later. But the bottom line is that I think we should be making this decision.
Now he said a couple of things in there.
Okay.
One of them he brought about rape and incest.
Is that what he said?
I would pray that abortion would be limited to rape, incest, or life of the mother. You know, less than 1%. Less than 1% of abortions are from rape, incest, or life of a mother. Also, less than 1% of abortions are performed by women that are married. So if that were the case, sir, that would be fantastic. Then if God said you can kill them now, or kill them later. So let me know that you know you're killing a baby. It didn't bother. Matter of fact, he stood steadfast and strong. I hear a lot of them that call in when they pushing their liberal out. The same thing they said. That's a woman's reproductive right. How is anything reproductive about you murdering a child?
It's not. But he said one more thing, that these children that get born in, they unloved and unwanted. I'm like, what? What you? Huh?
Well, you got them. You know, the children that like the lady on the abortion thing with the children. She doesn't want a child, so you know, if she did bring a child into the world, the child is just something simply a curse to her. And my thing with that is, since y'all so steadfast on that, why don't you try controlling yourself and doing the stuff that causes the baby? Because you know they don't just pop up under a lettuce leaf. There's some stuff you got to do to create life. You know, and to do it, it just have so much dismissal of it because a woman got the right to choose. Man, y'all biting off the wrong apple. Got a caller?
Yes, sir.
Let's pause for the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Pastor Guy.
Hey, my friend.
Great show yesterday you guys had.
Thank you.
So, Pastor, 6-year-old can't even get a job and everything else, and they can choose to know what they are at 6 years old.
Can sign a contract for something as serious as you're changing your gender.
Yeah. And these people of Norway, is this the same country that Bernie Sanders suggests that black people go to? They'll feel comfortable because Norway accepts black people?
I thought all countries accept black people. When you go around the world, the rest of the world doesn't deal with black and white. You American or you Iraqi or you German, and this racial mindset that we have in America, man, the rest of the world ain't doing it like that.
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's the only thing I know about Norway, unless you tell me about the creatures. I would love to learn that. But, man, 6 years old is crazy.
Yeah, and sign a contract to change his gender. And that means once he does that, he can go in the bathroom with my 6-year-old granddaughter. He can go to the bathroom at the church, at the school. But if you say anything about that, you're being homophobic. You're violating my civil rights.
But, I got a question though.
Go ahead.
How about when it you know, when he hit puberty and something changed him, but he got that contract already, so he about 15, 16 years old, going to the female bathroom, but he's not feeling that way no more. He got started getting attracted to young ladies, so.
Well, you bring up another point. What about, children change their mind?
Oh, always.
So what about if he gets to be 14, 15 years old and he decides he wants to go back to being a boy? Does he go sign another contract and he's now back a boy? Because he ain't had no operation or nothing.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yes, sir.
And Q is right on point when he talked about that. I had a young doctor, and he became a woman, and about 10 years later, he hung himself and everything because he went out of his mind when they read his journal, and some of the people that knew said they did not know that he was in turmoil. He himself the last 2 years, and he was taking care of patients. He was an ER doctor.
Right.
And even though he did his job, but he was really crazy inside. Can you imagine if he'd have killed some of them patients up in that hospital?
He was caught up in spiritual turmoil.
He would. There you go. But and the other thing is, Pastor, is that a congressman that said that from Alabama?
Yes, I don't know if it's state or federal, but yes, it was a representative. That it just said Democrat John Rogers.
Well,
I'm gonna go back and look. I gotta run though, Ray, because I got somebody been on hold for a minute.
All right, I love y'all.
Love you back. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
That's the guy, Dan here.
Hey, Dan, what's going on? What do you think about it so far?
And I tell you what. What do you think about our classless Steve Cohen this morning?
Man, that's so sickening, man. Man, just bought a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And said, you want a piece? You want a piece? I'm sitting there looking, and I said, the people of Memphis that called into my Steve's a good guy, Steve. Y'all okay with this guy going to the Congress of the United States, representing y'all in that manner? That was, you know what's so sad about it, Dan? Is he'll win re-election doing that. That's what's so sad.
Every time.
That's what's so sad.
Because he's getting his recognition and he's getting his notoriety by pulling that stupid classless trick this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you seen him on TV doing something worthwhile or doing something for the good?
And the way that he talks to the black youth, beyond that, you know, the 9th Congressional District, this is one time where race does matter. It was specifically carved out so that the 9th Congressional District would have a black representative in the halls of Congress of these United States. We had none in Tennessee. It was specifically carved out so that they could have a black representative. They said so. Now, this man has that seat, and he sits there and he does the stuff like when Star Parker comes up there and she talks against abortion and calls this black woman ignorant and all kind of stuff, or when Dr. Levatino comes to give us the medical advice about stuff, and no, you don't speak about anything, just a woman's right to choose. I mean, it's so sad to me when I see that.
You know, you would think a district that's predominantly black would want a black person to represent them.
That man that got in office, he's using the same number that Harold Ford used. If you call and ask him about your check, or if you call in and you ask him about, I got to give it to him. He's mastered. Harold Ford Sr. created that machine by doing what I think is this. Harold Ford Sr. took care of poor folks and rich folks. He didn't care about folks in the middle. The poor folks are going to keep him in office. The rich folk going to make sure he's rich while he's there. Steve Cohen, if you call in with some little bitty issue that could be handled with a phone call or something, he's going to be Johnny on the spot. But when he goes to Washington, he's representing this district to pass laws that the majority of people, the vast majority of people in the 9th Congressional District don't agree with. This man is one of the biggest proponents of the homosexual movement, the abortion movement, Greenpeace, anything that Democrats got going. And these folks keep voting him in office. Man, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Doesn't make any sense. And what's he going to be known for? Getting rid of straws?
Yeah, he wants to stop those plastic straws in the White House cafeteria, yeah. Of course, you know, he tried to be part of the Black Caucus, and he wants reparations. It's sad, man. It's sad. Hey, Dan.
Huh?
You're a white man, right?
I think.
Okay. They got a guy that they got a guy running for office named Joe Biden. You ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
He said that he's running because he's going to put an end to this white supremacy, white nationalism. I've been asking a few of my black callers, you know, exactly how is white supremacy and white nationalism affecting your life, so that way I can know if Mr. Biden's really putting an end to it. And I can not get anybody to give me any kind of answer. The other guy said the other day, the shooting at University of North Carolina, Charlotte, is an example of white supremacy, and I don't see how that would be. All the people that he shot were white. But here's my question to you, Dan. Here's my question. How will I know if Joe Biden is putting an end to white supremacy and white nationalism? Because I can't see it. Can you explain to me, well, what is he talking about?
Yeah, in the first place, that's a stupid remark. Ain't no one person can put an end to anything.
Okay.
You know, on that kind of scale. Pastor Guy, you're probably asking the wrong person that, because I don't think this country is racist.
Okay.
I think 99% of black people and white people and Asian people and Muslims and everybody else that want to get along can get along.
Okay.
I think all this racial stuff has been perpetuated by the media to split us apart so that, I mean, you stop and think about it. You can't really talk about anything unless, what if everybody agreed on the exact same thing?
Be a boring world.
Then what would there be to talk about?
Exactly.
Well, if everybody was white, what would there be to talk about?
Yeah.
If everybody was black, what would there be to talk about? So what they do is they split the groups. Women are a group. Blind people are a group. Black people are a group. White people are a group. So that they can make remarks like, well, this is what white people think, or this is what black people think.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's baloney. I don't want to be thought of
It's
as
propaganda.
So true.
That's what it is,
I
propaganda.
mean, I think, you think, Q thinks, other guy thinks. You can't say black people think. Sure, black people think, but black people think as individuals. But the news media...
Well, I hope so. You can't tell by the way they've been voting, but that's another story.
Well, that's that telephone pole he's on. He needs to get one higher.
Right. well, look. Dan, look, okay, by you being blind from birth, that means that you can't see if a person hates you. Can you feel the vibe if a person hates you?
Nah.
I'm
hated me.
I'm telling you, reason I asked that question. For me now, with all the stuff the media shows you, but when I look at it on my day-to-day activities and living life, I don't really see white and black people having a problem in Memphis, Tennessee with each other.
I don't either.
You know, but they're presented that because Donald Trump is the president, that white folks is on the verge or want to kill all people of color and all Muslims, and that black folks are being so oppressed, and that white supremacy is choking them out of existence. And all the stuff that they show them, whenever I ask somebody, tell me an example of how white supremacy is affecting you as an individual, I haven't got an answer yet.
Pastor God, what else has the Democrats got to talk about except race?
Yeah, they got to, because we talk about the job Donald Trump doing, they're in trouble.
When you stop and think about it, everything they got, or the only thing they have, is something couched in race. It was about 3 months. I wanted to call you back. It was about the time you changed stations that I couldn't get you.
Okay.
But there was about 3 months there when I got really, really busy at school and walking downtown, and you know, most of the people that I deal with are black.
Right, hold on, Dan. Hold on.
Transgender female. The reason I'm no longer...
Okay, go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Most of the people I deal with are black because downtown is mostly black.
Right.
Most of the people that live in this building are black.
You ride the bus.
I go to stores down here, most of the people are black.
Right.
Most of the people are black at school.
Right.
And I don't see it.
Dan, you can't see
it.
I just said, Dan, you can't see it. You're blind.
Excuse me.
I love you. I love you.
I ain't felt any kind of racism.
And that's what I'm saying, man. You know, they're creating false flags.
They're creating because that's all they've got to talk about.
So true.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, we got to keep spreading our light and keep sharing our love.
And you can't take one individual things that happen. A white guy goes in a classroom and shoots it up. You can't say from that one incident, well, all these white people look at them, they're shooting all these people.
Exactly.
That's just one person. But if you listen to the media, they would have you thinking that incident is representative of all white people.
It always happened because of Donald Trump.
Always.
I'm so sick of that.
That's all they got.
Yeah.
That's all they got. People that are talking about Donald Trump don't even know him.
I just had a man today just help me do something before I came to the radio station. And he was saying, well, one thing about it, man, we can just get away from Trump. And I knew him because he had been the president. I said, man, do you know Trump did that prison reform? And he said, oh, what's that, Dre? I said, no, those guys been in jail for those coke. For real? I said, yeah, he's got a second step program too. Well, he's actually trying to set it up to where they have a second step program at the federal level. When you complete your probation and parole, you can have to get a federal. He said, man, he doing that kind of stuff. Man, they ain't heard nothing about none of that. They don't. They don't have a clue, Dan. They don't have a clue.
Because they can't get past what they hear or what's drilled into them every day. Hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. My suggestion would be forget about Trump. Name him Smith. You ought to go by his policies, not his name.
Make these Democrats tell you, okay, what are you going to do different than what's been done now? Because right now it's pretty good. I used to have all the trouble I wanted to trying to find an ex-felon on the job. Now they pick it between 3 and 4, which one they want.
Indeed. And if you did kick him out, who would you replace him with?
Yeah,
I don't see nobody.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to comment on that. Again, because some of the stuff they got out there, I'm afraid to comment. I might not sound pastorly. I got to go, my friend. Love you, man. Be blessed.
Love you, too.
We're another caller. But, Dan said something, when that, folks want to say all white people, they mass murderers. They go kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But, me used to be a truck driver. Used to drive over all the United States. When I got to certain places and people ask me, where you from? I said, Memphis. Oh, home of First 48.
Yeah, First 48.
So y'all just murderers down there. Everybody killers.
Every time you see an incident of mass murder, make all white people mass murderers, then I guess all black people Boston stranglers did. Because every week in the major black neighborhoods throughout these United States, you got 2 or 3 folks mysteriously popping up dead. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't get it, man. We're so busy trying to assess the vision among ourselves. Come on. When if we get into the vision of the fact that we are Americans, we live in what's supposed to be the greatest country on the planet. And yes, she has some ills that need to be worked past, but we're going to work past them a whole lot better together than we are apart.
So true. So true. Hey, we're going to go for a break right quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even though tomorrow is not promised, it's wise to be prepared for it when it comes. Sheena Armstrong is the owner-operator of Insurance of Memphis, located at 3556 Hickory Hill Road. Sheena can prepare you today for what tomorrow may bring. I call it the one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, health, even renter's insurance. Call her at 901-303-8804. Again, that's 901-303-8804. She will get you the insurance you need to prepare you for the unexpected things that tomorrow may bring. Call her at 901-303-8804 or stop by 3556 Hickory Hill Road, Insurance of Memphis. Ask for Miss Sheena. Hey, remember, for all your pest control needs, call Godfather Pest Control at 901-581-5534. Ask for Chris. That's 901-581-5534. You know what, you and Dan, y'all brought up to so many people when they have these transgender operations stuff, that they come back and regret it. Uh-huh. And I happen to find a video on one. Okay. Ain't that something? Let's play that.
A transgenders because I found the truth. And I found out, it took me a long time to discover the truth, but I started my journey of what they call transgenderism at the age of 4 and struggled with my gender identity for most of my life, and eventually got married in my early 20s, had 2 children. I was an executive for an automobile company. I worked on the Apollo space missions as associate design engineer on cryogenic connectors, and struggled still with my identity until I went to one of those people they call experts in gender identity. In fact, the guy I went to was the guy who authored the original Harry Benjamin International Standards of Care. So he was an expert. And so he diagnosed me with gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria and said the cure for your problems that started when you were 4 was hormone therapy and gender reassignment surgery. And so I went through the protocols and spent the 2 years between the time I was first diagnosed wondering if this was going to work. And eventually, in April of 1983, I underwent gender reassignment surgery in Trinidad, Colorado. It was a few years after that, about 5 or 6 years after that, I began to study psychology and of addictions at UC Santa Cruz, and began to crack open the books and found out that people who identify as a transgender are actually suffering from a variety of schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and many other disorders that the people who are experts, like my doctor, was never paying any attention to. And it's, frankly speaking, from my point of view as a former young child who did this, it's child abuse, and it shouldn't be done.
He had the operation.
Mm-hmm.
And he trying to tell you, don't do this. Trick of Satan, y'all.
Yes, it is.
It's a trick of Satan. And those of you that support it, that's a trick of Satan too. You know, people, she was my only grandchild. Now I got two. My son just had a little girl, but she was for a long time my only grandchild, only granddaughter, and it's still the oldest. She had a young boy she was dating, and he went off to the military. Was over in Korea, and she graduated and went to college down there in Mississippi somewhere. And after a couple of semesters down there, she comes back, and now she doesn't want to date him anymore because she decided that she's lesbian. You know, and my daughter was trying to show me that I need to embrace that because that's still my granddaughter. She's right. It's still my granddaughter. But no, I do not embrace that.
Okay.
Like I told her, I love you. I'll always love you. There's nothing you can do to stop that, but I'm disappointed in the choice you made for your life. And that's not a part of a journey that I want to walk with you. I don't do nothing to hurt my grandchild. I love my grandchild. But I'm not finna act like that it's okay with me that you've adopted a lifestyle that goes against my faith or my hopes for you as a grandfather. We got a caller?
No, sir.
Okay. And I think that's what the problem is for the church today, or people that at least proclaim to be believers in the church. Is that we say we love God on one hand, but yet because we don't want to offend loved ones or people on the job or people that we associate with every day, we'll compromise.
I'm trying to think of who was that, was it senator or somebody, vice president or something like that. Remember, he was so against the whole movement. But I think his daughter came out as...
talking about Dick Cheney?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dick Cheney, right.
See, it's so easy to compromise when it's somebody you supposed to be your loved one.
Right, exactly. Because if I say that I'm against the homosexual rights, then now I'm going up against my child. And even though it goes against the faith that I say I subscribe to, then God has to come secondary now. And God made it clear, I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. Thou shalt have no other God.
Yeah. But see, but the thing is, I don't think folks really believe in God. See, if you really truly stand on the word of God, you're going to stand on it regardless, no matter what. Because it's God. He's more important than my mom, my brothers, my wife, and kids, because God number one in my life. So if God's supposed to be so important to you, why are all these people falling down by the wayside talking about, now, well, this is my son, and I don't understand. Can you help me out, please?
You said it. It's compromise, man. These people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Their words of me is only made rules made by man. And then they send people out there to make suckers out of you, for lack of a better word.
Be honest.
Just like Booty Judge. Now he out there in Harlem with Al Sharpton. He's like, I got to get the blessings of Al Sharpton. This professed FBI informant. This man who everybody liked that he touched turns to poison. But they got to get his approval. Let me play the clip here where he goes into Harlem to go eat with Al Sharpton to get Al Sharpton's approval. Let's see.
walked off the subway and into a Harlem institution. Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant is where Reverend Al Sharpton hosted the latest in his years-long series of meals with presidential hopefuls. This time,
They gotta get Al Sharpton.
Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana.
I do not know who that is. Never heard of him.
A local resident says what many others did, that the mayor, who's helped a small Rust Belt city bounce back, has a way to go in order to become a household name. Still, the man who's raised more money than all but 4 other Democrats has some recognition among the community here.
LBGT, whatever that situation is, he's some part of.
It is true that Buttigieg would be the first openly gay president if he were to win. He spoke about that.
I wasn't sure when I came out back home in South Bend how South Bend would respond, but my community lifted me up as a brother and as a son. And I believe this is a country where anything is possible.
Now, among locals we talked with, they said that having lunch with Al Sharpton here could do for this candidate what it's done for at least one other name.
It reminds me when all of a sudden we heard this name some years ago. Who is a Barack Obama?
And saying something similar, a tour group from Indiana that just happened to have lunch at Sylvia's.
Well, what they said about Pete Buttigieg now, that's what they said about Barack Obama.
But today's host told me, not so fast.
It shows they want to relate. It doesn't mean I'm going to endorse or anyone he is going to endorse. People are going to make their own decision.
Paying them off.
And as for Reverend Al Sharpton, he ended up meeting with Buttigieg after a lot of the cameras left for well over half an hour. In fact, close to an hour in total of time together, talking about national issues, not really talking much at all about LGBTQ status.
No, we got a national issue. Okay, how much this gonna cost you? I'm just saying, man. Now, these guys that come out, Kamala Harris and all of them, they going through. You can approve of Al Sharpton.
Why?
About well, they should be selected as the candidate. Now, this the same Al Sharpton, FBI informant. Let me play this right here.
Welcome everyone. I'm Maurice Dubois. Those stories are straight ahead. But first, after all these years, the Reverend Al Sharpton admits he was an FBI informant.
Yes, he says that he was the cat that got the rats, but others say that Sharpton's life was not by choice. CBS 2 political reporter Marsha Kramer has the story.
Michelle Obama probably never knew that one of the guests at her recent White House 50th birthday party was an FBI mafia informant who helped bring down members of the Genovese crime family. Reverend Al Sharpton, now a confidant of both the First Lady and the President, and of Mayor Bill de Blasio, has his own unique take on his days as the government's confidential informant number 7.
In my own mind, I was not an informant. I was cooperating with investigations.
The revelations threaten to embarrass Sharpton as he kicks off his National Action Network convention this week with de Blasio and President Obama the headliners. But de Blasio, who calls Sharpton family, is sticking by his buddy.
Doesn't change the relationship one bit. I'm very proud to be his friend. I think he has done a lot of good for the city of New York and for this country. I have the exact same positive view of him I had before.
Sharpton has been dogged for years by reports that he was an FBI informant, helping the government go after boxing promoter Don King and music executives. Now we learn he also went after mobsters, including the legendary Vincent the Chin Gigante, the so-called Oddfather who paraded around in his bathrobe and pajamas. Though he has ducked and dodged questions about whether he wore a wire for the fence, that wasn't possible today since a batch of government documents were made public.
The conversations were recorded.
And there's also the issue of how he became an informant. Some say he was pressured into it after he was caught in a drug sting. This HBO undercover sting video that aired in 2002 shows Sharpton with a cowboy hat pulled down over his bouffant hairdo. Sharpton appears to nod when an agent offers him a cut from future drug sales. But now Sharpton claims he went to the feds for protection from threats from mob-connected music executives and was asked to rat out the bad guys.
They were threatening to kill me.
While the feds say his information helped bring down guys like Gigante, Sharpton says he didn't know how his information was being used.
I have never met any of these guys. The guy with the pajamas, I don't walk around with guys that walk outside. I never met these guys.
how can you be an informant on him?
Well, Sharpton says he's not embarrassed by anything that he did.
Yeah.
What he is embarrassed about, he says, is how, quote, fat he used to be now that he has reinvented himself as a skinny guy. By the way, sources say the mayor will cut the ribbon tomorrow at the start of Sharpton's 3-day National Action Network convention. Christina Maurice? Well, he does definitely look...
And that's what they say represent blacks of who they want to pull this 90% of the black vote that they've been getting since 1968. And don't y'all get it? How much proof do I have to show you that we're telling you the truth? Or is it possible that there is no amount of truth I can show you for you to digest the truth?
Seems like it.
Sometimes they love the lie so much that the truth tastes like poison. 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. Just a few more minutes before we get out of here and let me know what you think. How do you feel about that? Does it even matter? Because this is the thing that really gets me. It really gets me. Is that if we take Trump out of the equation, take Democrat and Republican out of the equation, even liberal and conservative out of the equation, the thing that gets me is when I ask them, how does God feel about these laws that are being passed? And they ignore that.
Well, really, they don't ignore. They just say, well, it ain't me, I'm just voting. See, I don't know. I can't tell what they gonna do, but I just vote.
So who you vote for, the laws they passed that you voted for? Because I thought people vote for different people for a reason.
Yeah, cause I vote for issues. Oh, my fault.
The issues. That's right. Independent vote.
Yeah, independent. I'm independent.
Like Mr. R.C. that called the show.
Yes, sir.
That ain't never voted for Republican in their life. It's crazy. It is so crazy.
Yes, it is.
I tell you about hating Donald Trump. But when Donald Trump, though, 4-5 years ago, every last one of them wanted to be on his TV show. They was going to his parties. Got pictures of Spike Lee hugging and pointing at everybody, telling everybody, this the guy. But now he's hating Donald Trump.
Well, they somebody said, Donald Trump was a Democrat. See, that's why we mad at him, because he flipped on us, and now he's a Republican.
Oh, that's what it is. Then they run around here talking about, saw that today, Russian collusion.
Oh, my goodness.
The Russians is the reason why.
There is no serious
Well, who's that?
person out there who would suggest somehow that you could even rig America's elections, in part because they're so decentralized and the numbers of votes involved. There's no evidence that that has happened in the past, or that there are instances in which that will happen this time. And so I invite Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes.
Okay, well, wait a minute, then.
There is no serious person out there who would suggest somehow that you could even rig America's elections, in part because they're so decentralized and the numbers of votes involved. There's no evidence that that has happened in the past, or that there are instances in which that will happen this time.
So if that be the case, what is all this Russian collusion stuff they talking about, man?
I don't know, man. When you try to reach and grab something and throw it out there and hope it stick, but it didn't.
Okay. How many minutes we got?
Oh, man, we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Good, I can play a couple of minutes of this new song that somebody sent me, and I like it, Q. I like it.
A new song?
There's a new song. Hold on, let me find it. Old Louis Stewart told me about this song. These are my Hispanic brothers singing some gospel music called Heaven. Pastor God love Hispanic. I don't like illegal. Well, thank you.
Oh, I like it. I was enjoying myself.
That's the Lost Lonely Boys. How far is heaven? God bless. I love y'all.
And we don't own the rights to that song or nothing like that. We got to say that we keep it on there on YouTube.
Okay, that's right. That's the Lost Lonely Boys. And
yeah. So
amen.
We don't own the rights to that song.
Amen. God bless. I love y'all. We'll be back tomorrow, telling y'all the truth. Whether you listen or not, ain't on us.
I thought you were going to say the truth, the whole
truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. I said it. It's up to you if you listen. God bless. I love you. Talk with you tomorrow.